Dear friends, let us continue our second group meditation, second session of this day retreat. See how the mind is now. Are there any suitable labels which are fitting to our present status of the mind? It might be peaceful or mindful, maybe both together, or joyful, maybe some worries are there. No matter how the mind is now, the most important thing is to know. Is it possible to know how the mind is? If the mind is mindful and peaceful, then of course that mind can help us. We can use that mind for whatever we want to do. And if the mind is confused and not clear, and agitated, then of course, first we have to help to the mind before we get any help from the mind. We have to help to our mind to be mindful. We have to help to our mind to make itself clear by letting go of unnecessary thinking. Let us try to be more mindful. And let us try to let go of unnecessary stories. by helping. See how the mind is changing. We can change the mind. We can change the mental situation just by helping to the mind, just by being mindful and letting go of unnecessary stories, inner stories. Even we can make the mind happy just by offering our hand. And the mind also feels safety, the security feeling. My dear friends, we are trying to establish correct and healthy relationship with our mind by meditating. So that is one of the purposes of meditation, to make a good connection, relationship with the mind. And if we can make a good and healthy relationship with the mind, then of course that mind helps us to maintain healthy relationships. Sorry. Healthy relationships with others. But if our inner relationship, means the connection with the mind, is problematic, then of course Then, of course, that problematic mind makes problems. And then we think we are having problems because of others. But actually, most of problems are made by our problematic mind. So that's why we spend a lot of time in this area to work with our own mind. And today, this retreat, the theme of the retreat is living wisely. And this morning, I was thinking about the topic, and the very first thought which came to my mind is, oh, it's a very wonderful theme, a wonderful subject, how to live wisely, living wisely. And then, yeah, I was so interested in this topic this morning, early morning, when I get up, and after a while, the thought came to my mind about the retreat. Today is the day for this month retreat, and the topic is living wisely. So it was wonderful topic. It is wonderful topic. And then after a while, the next thought is that I am the person who has to deliver the talk on this subject. And then, oh, what a challenge. Yeah, of course, it is so interesting to live wisely. Living wisely is also a challenge. It's a challenge. But give a talk on this topic is a real challenge. Because, my dear friends, living wisely is the solution for all of our problems. I think no argument about it and no second word about it. All of issues arise from unwise thinking and unwise way of living. That's very clear. Therefore, the solution, the ultimate solution for all of our problems is wisdom, living wisely, wise way of living. I think we all can agree to this conclusion. But it's a challenge. It's a challenge because it doesn't happen by itself. No one can live wisely automatically or mechanically or habitual. No, that does not happen at all. That means we have to make an effort to live wisely. If we do not make any effort, then of course, what happens is our habits are overtaking us, and our habits, our past habits, old habits are guiding us. Then, of course, we do same thing again and again and again. The past is repeating then. The knowledge is commanding us. Past means the knowledge. Then the past knowledge is guiding us. Who is the guide? The past knowledge. Actually, no need to make a lot of effort for this. It happens habitually. If we have good enough knowledge, good enough experiences, that is called past, then whenever the same situation arises, then of course that particular past knowledge comes and guides us. So this is the way usually happens, and this is the way how we live usually, according to our past knowledge. And that can't be wise way of living. Knowledge is one thing, and wisdom can be something else. Precisely, wisdom does not come from the past. This is one of the significant differences in between knowledge and the wisdom. So when I was thinking about this topic this morning, a couple of ideas came to my mind. Yes, we had to make an effort for this. The effort is important, but what kind of effort we had to make is important. We need some directions. So there are a couple of steps or couple of aspects came to my mind. Actually 10 steps or 10 aspects. I think that 10 is a good number to be a wise person, to live wisely. So that's why I said it's a challenge to be a wise person, because there are a lot of steps, a lot of aspects we had to fulfill. The very first thing is we had to have an interest in help ourselves and help others. This is the way how wise people think. How to help oneself and how to help others. We need this interest. Whatever we are going to do should not harm anyone, should not harm own self or should not harm anyone, should not be harmful to anybody. So we had to create this interest first. That means we had to be very careful before we are going to do anything. Whatever we are going to do, we had to think in this way. Is this going to helpful for myself or others or both? And this interest, my dear friends, definitely come from where? Not from the brain, not from our intellectual functions. It definitely comes from our heart. I should not disturb myself. I should not disturb others. I must help myself and I must help others. This interest and this need definitely come from the heart. So this entire path starts from the heart. To be a wise person or to get the wisdom or live wisely, it's a long journey, of course. It has a long path, but it must start from our heart, not from the brain, not from our intellectuality. So we had to plant a seed in our heart. This seed, my living, my life, will be a helpful one, a supportive one for myself and for others. That is my purpose of living. And we have to be honest with this intention. And then this is the first thing. So our intention is pure now, pure and beautiful and honest and genuine. This is the first step. And the second step is, yes, our heart is pure now. Heart wants to help myself and help others. But how to help them? How to help myself and how to help others? For most of the times, it's not clear. It is not clear how to help. Why it is not clear? Because we had to work with our mind for the rest of the entire path. The first step comes from the heart, but after a while, after that, the rest of the journey, we had to go with the mind. Not only with the heart, with the mind. So that's why the rest of the steps and rest of functions are not clear if the mind is uncleared. If the mind is confused, and if the mind is emotionally disturbed, then even though our intention is good and pure, but what we are doing can be harmful, can be dangerous. And we all are experiencing this. And later on, we are guilt about it. Regression comes. So that is not the wise way of living. Therefore, the second step should be the clarity of mind, clarity of the mind. So we had to make our mind clear. We had to help our mind to get rid of that confusion and emotional disturbances. We had to help our mind for this. So you can see how meditation comes to this subject. How mindfulness takes an important role. How mindfulness is playing an important role in this task. The clarity of the mind is very important. The clarity of mind means no confusion and no emotional disturbances. The mind is not emotionally disturbed and the mind is not confused. So how to help this mind? Yeah, simply one can say with meditation. Yes, in what way? We have to help to our mind to be in the present. This is the very first thing. The mind should be in the present for inner clarity. And the second thing, we had to help to our mind to let go of unnecessary stories or unnecessary thinking. We had to help to our mind for that. So now we can understand how meditation is helpful and how meaningful our practice is. The third step is, now the mind is clear up to certain extent. That means the mind is in the present and the mind is mindful. It is free now, no unnecessary engagement, not full of garbages. It is relaxed and fresh. Therefore, now we can use this mind. Now the mind is capable to help us for the rest of 8 steps. So there are 8 more steps. And we cannot fulfill those steps, so we cannot go those steps, climb those steps without getting help from the mind. So that's why we had to help our mind first. And if the mind is clear, and if the mind is mindful, if the mind is in the present, and it is relaxed and fresh, now we can ask some help for this purpose, to get wisdom. It's a long way. Still, it's a long way. But now we have a good helper. And with this awareness, with this pure mind, or relaxed mind, or fresh mind, what we can do is we can observe the situation and we can listen to the situation. By observing the situation and by listening to the situation, we can collect all the factual information, not theoretical information, the real factors, real facts we can collect. This is important. Not by reading a book. No. We have to collect real facts by observing and listening. Collecting real factors. So now we have enough materials. We need materials. And now we have enough materials because we have collected them, not from books. This is very important, not from books, by our own first-hand observation, our first-hand listening. Then the next step is, but still we may need some consultations, some external guidance. Yes, of course, now our mind is clear. Therefore, we can see things clearly. We can hear things clearly. We can collect all the actual materials by clear listening and clear observing. That's true. But still, we may miss some important applications. Therefore, after now, we may need some external guidance, consultations. Means we can share whatever we have observed, the materials, we can share with a wise person. Wise person. So how to find a wise person? It is depending on us, not depending on anything, not depending on the medias, not depending on the publicity, and not depending on any reputation. It is 100% depending on us. That means we had to cultivate that sensor. So it's a challenge. We have to depend depend on our own sense. And of course, in the beginning, we may make wrong judgment. That's okay. That is okay. There is no any other way to learn. But after doing a couple of mistakes, we can learn. One by one, we can learn. So we have to listen to our heart to know who can trust. Anyhow, so we need some guidance, consultations. This is the next step. And now we have our own observations and consultation. Then we can contemplate on them. What we have observed and what the wise person told us. Both we have to contemplate. So contemplation is the next activity. It's important. Don't act just because this man tells me to do this. This person tells me to do this. He or she is so wise. Therefore I do. No. Listen carefully with your clear mind. And after that, whatever you heard from that wise person and whatever you have experienced, your own experiences, please reflect on both. Contemplate on both. Then you can see the picture clearly. Then easier to make a decision. Then easier to make a decision. And that is the next step. Make the right decision. Make the right decision. And after making the right decision, the next step is make the action. Make the action. For most of the times, we make right decisions, but we don't act. Decisions are very beautiful, but practically we do something else. So there is something wrong. We miss something. If we make the right decision, then of course, we have to make the right action. I think this is the 7th step, right action. And now we go with the right action. So once we make an action, then of course others do their comments because it may affect to them. Whatever we do, it affects to others. Even though we don't do anything, that can be decision. No, I am not going to do anything. So the action is not doing anything. It is an action too. Not doing anything is an action. And even that it can affect to others. And then they start to speak to us. They may complain. They may ask some explanations, and sometimes they criticize us, they blame us. Then what we have to do? So now we have completed 7 steps. And now, even after that, now we have some complaints from others, criticisms from others, some blames from others, and some comments from others. Something can be pleasant, and most of things can be unpleasant. So now what shall we do? Then we have two choices. The first choice is to continue our activities just as it is, just continuing, because we did all the necessary things. And it's very sure this is the right decision. Even we did a consultation from a wise person, from who has a lot of experience. Whatever others say, I don't think, I don't care. I do things, but I have started. I continue. This is the first option. The second option is, the second choice is to stop because of the public opinion, public criticism, public complaints, judgment. We can stop. So usually we go to one of those extremes, one of these extremes. Either we become so firm, we are firm about ourselves, our decisions, our actions, and therefore we continue, whatever others say. Or we stop. But my dear friends, I think both are not wise. Both extremes are not wise. So then the eighth step is, the eighth aspect is, we have to be flexible and we have to open ourselves. It doesn't matter, are we continuing or stopping? But before we stop or continue, we have to be flexible and open ourselves to listen to them. Why they are complaining, why they are blaming us, why they are criticizing us. You may know this story. The Buddha became an enlightened, and soon after his enlightenment, he started to share his blissfulness with others by talking to them, by sharing his wisdom with others. And then, yes, some 60 young enlightened monks after the Buddha's preaching and discussions and guidance, then soon after 60 young enlightened monks were there. And after that, the Buddha advised them to walk in 60 directions. Don't walk two enlightened monks together. Walk towards 60 directions, 60 different directions. Because the whole world needs some spiritual friends to get to know about the path. And the Buddha said, now you are fully cured. But the world is sick. Therefore, please help them. Don't walk two together. And they started to walk and do this service. They are young, and this philosophy and this Dhamma is very new and very fresh. Therefore, they have a lot of interest and energy for helping to the world with their own experiences. And after a while, these monks, the number of monks, the amount is going up and up. And then people started to complain this. The society, leaders of the society came to see the Buddha, and they said, dear Buddha, we are not against your new teachings. It's okay, whatever you teach is okay. But we have a custom here. Our culture is different. Our tradition is different. Our tradition or our custom is not to walk during the raining period. We don't walk. Especially yogis and monks, they don't walk. Because after long dry season, now rain starts, therefore fresh grasses come out from the earth, from the ground. And when your monks, your disciples are walking on them and destroy, kill them. And they are living beings. They said, those leaders of the society, they said, grasses are living beings. They have life too. So your disciples are killing them. This is not our custom. And dear friends, what do you think about it? And what do you think what Buddha done? The Buddha then make an order to the monks. Monks should stay in one place during the raining period for 3 months, up to 3 to 4 months. This is how rain retreats start. And the Buddha thought, this is good for the monks because 8 months they are walking and talking. So they need also some self-refreshment. And also it is good to respect to innocent customs. Whether grasses are living beings or not doesn't matter. But it's an innocent custom. The Buddha didn't say, I am the Buddha, I know everything, you are not Buddhas. Therefore, I don't change my decision. So that decision actually originally made by the Buddha. The Buddha asked his disciples to walk in different directions to help to people. So originally that decision made by the Buddha, and one of the very first decisions the Buddha made. And after that, when people started to protest, actually it was a protest and blame and criticism, and then the Buddha reflect on that and change his decision. Even though it was the right decision. So we need that much flexibility and openness. This is important. And if there is something important, then of course, if it affects to others badly, then we need this skill to revise our own decisions and now change our own actions. This is one of the magnificent qualities of a wise person. The ninth one. The last one is, even though others are criticizing or everybody is appreciating, doesn't matter. We should not depend on only others' appreciations and criticisms. Time to time, we had to look back. We had to look back and see what is the outcome of our actions. What are the outcomes? We started this entire procedure, entire process with good heart. The heart, our heart wants to help ourselves and others. That was the first step. And after going through all the other necessary steps, now we had to evaluating. What is the outcome? Does this helpful for myself and for others? And if not good enough, then we had to reflect all these previous 9 steps, and we had to find out where is the error, which step to be corrected. We had to do this. That's why reflection is very important, looking back. So evaluation and looking back is the last one. Before, openness and flexibility for different opinions, for different complaints, comments. And previous one is making or taking the action. Not only thinking and thinking, we had to do it, taking the action. And to take the action, we had to make the decision. To make the decision, we have to contemplate. Contemplate on what? Contemplate on wise people's experiences and our own experiences, both. For that, we had to listen to wise people, and also we had to observe what is happening. We had to observe our own experiences. For both, we need a clear mind. The clarity of mind is the instrument for observing and listening. If the mind is confused and emotionally disturbed, that kind of mind, that type of mind is unable to observe what is really happening, or what is this person is really saying. So that step takes long time. Compared to others, the second step takes longer time to clear the mind, to make a clarity mind. So that's why we had to meditate for longer period of time. That's why we had to practice this mindfulness meditation day by day, day by day. This is the critical point of this entire process, the second one. Because that is the vehicle for the rest of journey. If the vehicle is not workable, then the journey, we cannot complete the journey. Therefore, this second step, clearing the mind, helping to the mind to make it clear. Please pay more attention on this stage. By helping to the mind to be in the present, and by helping to the mind to know what it is doing, instead of doing things without knowing. No, the mind should know what it is doing. But we had to help to our mind to cultivate that ability, that skill. And the first starting point is the heart. Heart, the intention to help ourselves and to help to the world. So, my dear friends, these are the picture. This is the picture what came to my mind in this morning when I was thinking about today's topic. And as I said, it's a challenge to be a wise person. Actually, there are no challenges to depend on our past knowledge. Be a knowledgeable person, no challenge at all. No. We have to just ask from our past what I have to do today. And the past says, This is the thing you have done yesterday, therefore better to repeat. This is the easiest way to live. The most easiest way. No need any effort for this. Just repeating the past. Just allow our past knowledge to decide what we had to do in the present. But my dear friends, no one can be a wise person just by doing this. No awakeness. The flower of wisdom does not bloom just by repeating the past again and again. Thank you very much, dear friends, for your kind attention on these ideas. And I hope you will have good enough time for reflection. Please do your own reflection on this. And again, I would like to emphasize this, that the second step is the most practical one. We had to pay a lot of attention on the second one. We had to repair the car, repair the vehicle perfectly before we go to anywhere. My dear friends, let us start this journey with our hearts. Thank you very much.